these teams, beginning with the non-starters for the Texans. Number 5, Paige Nunez. Number 8, Grace Garcia. Number 10, Hannah Reed. Number 19, Alexis Hong. Number 22, Mackenzie Dunbar. Number 23, Ashley LaRue. Number 25, Kiana Gibson. Number 26, Hayden Fox. Number 42, Bella Hernandez. And number 99, Madison Collins. And now the starting lineup for the Texans. Leading off in center field, number 30, Kelsey Hill. In left field, number 21, Kayla Wallace. At second base, number 2, Tristan Troll. At third base, number 27, Katie Schaefer. The designated player, number 0, Austin Tremaine. At first base, number 11, Jordan Dickerson. At shortstop, number 1, Morgan Medford. In right field, number 3, Mackenzie Peterson. Catching, number 16, Brittany Coe. And pitching today, number 7, Tristan Bridges. And now, the non-starters for the UC Davis Aggies. Number 1, Gia Felice. Number 4, Alyssa Ito. Number 6, Maddie Grissom. Number 7, Delaney Diaz. Number 8, Sophia Epicari. Number 10, Taylor Fitzgerald. Number 11, Grace Tingan. Number 13, Sydney Foley. Number 14, Brianna Weeks. Number 17, Sarah Renneman. Number 18, Mia Hildebrand. Number 21, Caroline Grimes. Number 26, Tina Wentworth. Number 30, Maddie Taylor. Number 31, Bella Holtz. And number 48, Mickey Buscemi. The starting lineup for the Aggies, leading off in right field, number 27, Anna Deplison. Number 16 in center field, Leah Polson. At third base, number 33, Bella Puhulu. At first base, number 19, Sarah Starks. Shortstop, number 44, Libby McMahon. The designated player, number 29, Riley Costa. Catching, number 2, Grace Kilday. In left field, number 24, Sarah Nakahara. At second base, number 5, Summer Kisling. And pitching today for the Aggies, number 9, Kennedy Brown. At this time, we ask that you please stand and kindly remove your hats as we honor the United States with the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Let's play softball.
Okay, I've still got, I'm still looking at Pensive Yoda over here, just a heads up on the monitor. Well, a very good morning. Day 2 of the National Invitational Softball Championship kicking off under gray skies here in Fort Collins, Colorado. A thrilling day yesterday. We will recap all of those events for you momentarily, but first things first, let's take a look. Finished 5th place in the WAC, obviously dropping their first Rabbits. In the big double elimination tournament, all on the line. One of these programs, then hopefully trying to keep things moving forward and build some postseason glory. Okay, let's talk about the weather first and foremost. Obviously, yesterday we had ourselves a 48-minute weather delay. That made it a little bit easier for some of the teams to reset. As a matter of fact, in the game that I did yesterday, BYU, after the break, they were trailing 2-1, got that 47-minute window to regroup, and the bats really exploded as BYU then went up 5-2 to advance to the championship bracket. San Jose State fell into the consolation round. Same thing could be said on the other side with this Tarleton State South Dakota State game. That game was tight, and then coming out of that break, South Dakota State just erupted, and as we mentioned, ran ahead to a 6-run victory. Let's get you your starters. First for Tarleton Texans, leading off is Kelsey Hill, the center fielder. Batting second, Kayla Wallace, the left fielder. Batting third, second base, Tristan Trull. Batting fourth at third, Katie Schaefer. At fifth, the designated player, Austin Germain. Batting sixth in the lineup, the first baseman, Jordan Dickerson. And the shortstop, there's slashed into the gap on left side. That's going to skitter all the way through. There's a little bit of that wet turf. Nice cutoff from left field, but is a stand-up double off the break from Kelsey Hill. So again, we had moisture yesterday, had a little precipitation overnight here. Obviously, the grounds crew here at TC Field doing a fantastic job keeping the dirt. That grass is going to be a little bit slippery out there. You saw that one skitter a little bit off to the left side, but it was a nice cutoff by Nakahara in left to keep it to a double instead of rolling all the way back. So finishing out starters for the Texans, batting eighth in right field, Mackenzie Peterson, and rounding it out, the catcher, Brittany Coe. And there's a bunt up front, advances the runner to third, flings it to first for the first out of the contest. In the circle for UC Davis is Ken. And she pitched 2 innings yesterday, got roughed up a little bit in the early going, giving 3 earned runs up to Iowa. But her numbers on the season are just absolutely fantastic. 16-11, a 1.85 ERA. She has 147 punch-outs and just 47 walks. So you can tell Tarleton already trying to get an early advantage and jump over a player who, if she settles in, it could be a very long night for the opponent. So far, a leadoff double, sacrifice, trying to manufacture a run, not really looking for an explosive output just yet. Just want to get one across and put some pressure on the Aggies. That is laced to second. Diving catch at shortstop, excuse me. That one just hung up just a little bit, got off of the end of the bat on the Aggies. So Polson with the sacrifice, and McMahon lines out to short. So 2 down quickly. Still that runner at first with the leadoff double. So Schaefer, cleanup hitter, third baseman, trying to drive in that run. Schaefer leading the team in RBI with 50. Looks at the high fastball up in the zone. Also leading the Texans in batting average at 360. And has all the pop you would imagine from a cleanup hitter. 11 bombs for her on the season. This thick air today might carry just a little bit further, but no wind to speak of, really, as that one's up in the zone. Should probably finish your weather report for you. A chilly 53 degrees here in Fort Collins. We don't really like to say foggy in this part of the country. It's just a very low-hanging cloud ceiling here at 5,000 feet. And about a 6-mile-an-hour wind coming over the right field fence. And you can see Brown being very, very careful with the powerful cleanup hitter, especially with some space open. So it's 3-0. She stayed up in the zone. That time was high and outside. See if she challenges her. Does indeed. Catches the outside corner, top of the zone. So obviously the scouting report is out on Schaefer. Don't put anything on the lower half. She really likes to turn as well. That one gets high. Drilled deep to right field. It's going to hang up in the wind, and circling underneath it was the right fielder, Detlefsen. So an opening double goes for naught. A little bit of a sound and fury signifying nothing on a long fly out to end the threat. That's the end of the top of the first. The Aggies will get their first crack in the batter's box when we return. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports. Bottom of the first here at the National Invitational Softball. Everybody say hello. Cameraman Sam out there in center field. Give him a nice wave. He's out there dealing with the elements just like our players as well. So bottom of the first for the Aggies. Sam, part of that great crew here from Triple Crown Sports. Producing today, my man Johnny Houston, keeping us all on track. My name is Matthew Wozniak. Glad you're with us here this morning. And the Aggies, let's get you those starters for UC Davis. As I mentioned, sitting at 29 and 21 on the season. Leading off is the newly crowned Big West Player of the Year, Anna Detlefsen. Obviously made that catch a moment ago to end the threat, to end the top of the first, but Detlefsen having a fantastic season. Now she slashes one into right field. That's carrying deep and cycling underneath it and making the grab. Again in right field, that was Peterson. So one away. Batting second in center field, Leah Polson. Batting third in the lineup, is the third baseman, Bella Pahulu. Batting fourth and cleanup, the first baseman, Sarah Starks, just set the all-time RBI lead for the UC Davis softball program with her 92nd yesterday. Congratulations, accolades for Starks at first base. Batting fifth, Mickey Buscemi, outfield. The designated player, batting sixth, Riley Costa. The catcher, Grace Kilday, will take up the seventh spot. Batting eighth, left fielder Sarah Nakahara. A nifty play to get a skipping drive that was headed for the gap and cut it off and hold it to a double in the first frame. And rounding it out at second base, Summer Kissling. In the circle for the Texans, Tristan Bridges, 5'7" senior, the lefty. 5.96 ERA, 11 and 12 on the season. Has had a little bit of control issues. 114 walks, just 86 Ks. And you see that one gets overcooked a little bit again on the outside. So 3-1, falling behind early. As Polson, the junior from El Dorado Hills, taps it back foul. Polson hitting .293 on the season. Both teams so far being aggressive early in the counts. That may not necessarily be a strategy for slap foul down the left field line. May not necessarily be the best strategy when you're facing a pitcher in the circle with inflated walk numbers. Nevertheless, we're full. 3-2. Just underneath the glove of third base. Clean single into left. Olson's 42nd hit of the season. And on this chilly morning, will be no no-nos today. Bring up Pella Pahulu, hitting .312. You look up and down this UC Davis lineup, just not a whole lot of pop. You know, said the cleanup hitter before for the Texans, Katie Schaefer, with 11 home runs of her own. UC Davis as a team, only 14 home runs on the season. So they're going to manufacture runs. One out here in the bottom of the first. Nice little off speed. Curls on the inside corner. Even it up, 1-1. That was roped right into the glove at third base. Hot shot at the hot corner. 2 away. Schaefer positioned perfectly that time. Wasn't really hugging the line too much. And that will bring up the aforementioned all-time RBI leader, Sarah Starks, junior. Looks at one outside. Starks obviously now with 32 RBI on the season, 92 in her career. Hitting .299. Looks at one low. 1-1. Don't expect any movement from Polson over there at first base, especially with 2 out and your RBI leader up there. She has only attempted 6 steals all season. Right down the middle. Two and one now for Starks. That one dives out of the zone. 3-1. Now a generous hitter's count. Two-way, certainly looking for the green light. Dici has it, bounces it, flings it across. And the put out 5-3. Each team gets one on in the top of the first and the bottom of the first, but cannot advance it across the plate. We're scoreless after 1 inning. Top of the second coming up next. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
With 4 decades of experience in producing only the best in the world of destination.
and your umpiring crew for this morning's contest. So leadoff double, nobody out. And swinging right through it was Costa, chased one out of the zone. That's exactly what Bridges needed.
Catcher number 2, Grace Kilday.
Costa's 14th of the season. First out of the inning brings up Grace Kilday. Kilday, the catcher, just barely gets a piece of one. 227 for Kilday here in the 7 spot in the lineup. Still parked at second base is McMahon after the leadoff double. Rolls inside. 1-1. Kilday looks at the offering, runs in on her. Defensive swing. Yanked it into the on-deck circle by her own dugout. Now it's 1-2. That was really rolling in on the hands of Kilday. Turned all the way through it. Might have actually caught her on the elbow if she hadn't hit it first. Tries to go off speed, hangs it out of the zone. 2-2. That is slashed right to third base. No coverage from second on a bang-bang play. 2 down.
Left fielder number 24, Sarah
Schaefer been very, very busy on defense over there at the hot corner for the Texans. A couple of line drives. A routine tapper. And now another leadoff double. Stuck at second base with 2 down. Nakahara, left fielder. A solid defensive play earlier to cut one off in the gap. Getting her first crack at Bridges. 8-hitter. 237 on the season. 322 slugging. Oh, really fooled on the drop ball. And just like that, a leadoff double goes for naught. Bridges bears down and escapes some early trouble. 2 innings in the book, still scoreless. Inning number 3 comes up next on the National Invitational Softball Championship on Triple Crown Sports.
Fans looking for some good food this morning? Enjoy our local food trucks located on the street. This morning, tacos El Diablo, Wow Brats, Glacier Ice Cream, and Origins Pizza.
Welcome back, top of three in a scoreless affair here in Fort Collins. The number 8 hitter, Mackenzie Peterson, 5'10" senior from Gilbert, Arizona. Try and spark some offense. Each team with an extra base hit. Leadoff doubles in the first inning, and a leadoff double in the bottom of the second for the Aggies, but stranded on the base paths in both cases. Texans went down quickly in the top of the second. And the bottom half of the lineup trying to get something done. So far, Brown has been overpowering, but falls behind 3-0. As Peterson, selective, most likely have the take sign here. Indeed she does. And Brown responds with one right down the middle. 3-1. Peterson hitting .250 on the season. Goes up in the zone this time, challenges her, and swings under it. So Brown claws her way back into a full count, 3-2. Peterson, second on the team in strikeouts with 23 on the season and 84 at bats. Just barely got a piece of it, stays alive. Battle shaping up here between Brown and Peterson. Fouled away again. Don't imagine Brown's going to want to get particularly tricky here. Just want to keep pounding the zone and see if Peterson can catch up to some of the heat. Tries to go outside, misses it. First walk issued by Kennedy Brown. And it's a leadoff walk, so Peterson works the count, gets ahead 3-0, stays alive, fouls off a couple of pitches, and earns her spot at first base.
16,
That brings up Brittany Coe, Allen, Texas native. Started at UT San Antonio. Again, outside. So Brown seemingly losing that outer third here in the top of the third. The 1-0. Swung right through it. Yep, another off speed that time. So the mixing of pitches so far has been really interesting from Kennedy Brown. Just setting him up with the fastball, either on the outside. There's that outside fastball again, misses it. Just trying to shift the focus. Now a little talking to from the coaching staff. Coaches for UC Davis, head coach Aaron Thorpe, Amy Cleese, and Doug Menifee, the assistants. For Tarleton, Mark Kumpian in his 7th season, joined by assistant coaches Stephanie Phillips and Alex Cordell. So again, yesterday, Kennedy Brown for the UC Davis Aggies went 2 innings, 3 earned runs. But really, all season long, she's been a workhorse. 151 innings pitched. So it's not like it's a fatigue situation. Didn't throw more than 50 pitches yesterday, so she should be good to go, but seemingly running into problems in the third. Happened yesterday against Iowa. Sort of losing the zone a little bit here in the top of the third against the Texans. So it looks like we will get a pinch runner for Tarleton. Yep, they'll bring in Bella Hernandez. So Hernandez takes the place at first base. Slash into the hole between second and third. A leadoff walk and a clean single from the bottom of the Texans order, and they've got something cooking here. 2 on, nobody out here in the top of the third. And that will spin the lineup back to the top. As Kelsey Hill began the contest with a clean double into the gap in left. And another pinch runner. Hannah Reed will take over at first base. So 2 pinch runners on. Get a little bit of speed out there for the Texans. And an off-speed offering from Brown finds the strike zone, 0-1. Hill hitting .354. 497 slugging percentage. Love to start putting up a big number. And she does splat one over and just foul. Just off of the end of the bat, could not find the chalk down the first base line. I could tell from my position it was going to go over the first baseman's head. Would it stay fair? It would not. Just curled foul at the very last minute. Certainly would have scored one. One and one now. Again, that was an off-speed offering. Now goes outside with the fastball. Feints the throw to second behind the runner. Saw a pickoff on that particular play. So it's 1-2. Brown looking for a punch out with 2 runners on. Takes something, just squibs it to second base. Going to make the play at first, but the runners will advance. So Hill. Just barely got the front end of the bat on it. Clean play at second base as Kissling flips to Starks. So runners at second and third, 1 away. As Kayla Wallace steps in. Low and outside. Wallace, 351, 514 slugging percentage, 23 RBI. Another off speed, bottom end of the zone. And behind the play, see the second baseman for the Aggies starting to shift in. Just cover the back throw, but with 1 away, can't imagine you'd take that risk, especially with a runner at third. Fouled away once more. So Wallace, once again, facing Brown. Had a perfectly clean second slate. Now she's in some trouble. Catches the outside corner beautifully. 2-2. Wind starting to pick up a little bit here from the right field. Blowing into the plate. Well outside, will not chase. So we're full. Wallace 1 for 3 yesterday, scoring a run. And the off speed gets her way out front. Wallace fooled. And 2 away. So grounder to second base. K, exactly what Brown needed. Third K of the game. But we'll bring up Tristan Troll. First base is open. Challenges her. Strike one. Troll with 31 RBI on this season and has 2 prime opportunities. Fouled away. Oh, and 2. Let's see if Kennedy Brown can pull another Houdini act and escape after allowing the first 2 on. Tries to get her to chase outside. Again, mentioned that in the first at bat for Troll. Not going to chase too well. She has a fantastic batter's eye. Especially in this situation, tightening it up a little bit. The sophomore looks off speed, chopped to short, cleanly held, flings across, and that will end the threat. So the Texans get 2 on with nobody out, but Brown buckles down and gets out of it. No score after 2.5. The bottom of the third comes up next for the Aggies. Back in a moment, it's the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Kissing.
Welcome back. Bottom of the third, the Aggies going against Tristan Bridges. The bottom of the order has the second baseman, Summer Kissling. Takes her first look at it. Bridges, masterful in the bottom of the second. Off speed. Not really overpowering with the fastball, but she has changed speeds enough that it has kept the Aggies battery a little off balance. Not afraid to go down in the zone and certainly using all thirds of the plate. Her control has been exquisite. That is laced right to the second baseman. Troll with the grab. Kissling put a little steam into it, just could not elevate enough to get it into right field. One away. Back to the top of the order. Anna Deathlison, mentioned the Big West Player of the Year, recently announced, earning accolades for her spectacular play over this season. 0 for 1 so far. She is definitely one you do not want to put on the base paths. Hitting 400 on the season. So runs inside, 1-1. 409, 623 slugging percentage, and she is a threat on the base paths. 45 stolen base attempts. She's been successful 41 times. Drop ball, too low. Junior in right field today. Bridges cannot find the outside corner. 3-1. Deathlefson gonna see a good pitch to hit here. Nope, missed the outside corner. So the stolen base threat is on at first.
Center fielder number 16, Leah Polson.
Leah Polson. Clean double in the top of the first, so she's 1 for 1. And there she goes, takes off, stolen base. Yep, warned you about it. She is a speedy threat, and if you put her on, she's going to make something happen. Deathlefson immediately, first pitch, takes off as Bridges put it in the dirt. That was going to be a really tough play for Coe. So with no one out, correction, 1 out. And they really overload the left side defensively, do the Texans. Schaefer hugging the third base line inside the base path, so looking for another potential sacrifice or kind of slap it to the left. Bridges responds with an off-speed pitch. 2-1. And deep in the hole at short is Medford. Center of the diamond wide open. Inside, 3-1. Outside. Now runners on first and second. So Polson's perfect day continues with a base on balls. She has made it to the base paths in both of her appearances. That brings up Bella Pahulu. Pahulu, and falling behind in the count is Bridges. And that will prompt a visit from the bench. Mentioned some of the control problems for Bridges this season. An inflated walk number as opposed to strikeouts. But that's, you know, she's just a control pitcher. She's not going to overpower you. She's had that control for the first 2 innings. And the last batter and a half seemingly slipping away. So we'll just reset for a moment. Retain focus. Because look, Bridges, you know, she's pitched 130 innings for the Texans this season. So they've got a potent 1-2 at the top of the rotation between her and Grace Garcia. So Bridges going to be leaned on here. 2-0. Runners at first and second, 1 away for the Aggies. Lula would love to build upon our 14 RBI total. That one runs in, catches the inside corner, strike one. That was a pitcher's pitch. Credit Bridges for having the guts to throw that one at 2-0 with pressure building behind you. Off speed, catches the outside corner. Back to back, well executed pitches by Tristan Bridges. And now Pahula's got some thinking to do. She's had one run in on the inside corner, got a little off speed that time. What's going to be on the deck now? Fastball. Foul ball. Just foul. Pahula turned on the heat. Again, you see with Schaefer, she'd been a step back maybe. Could have had a shot at snaring that line drive. Now she does move back a couple of paces. And well outside, 3-2. So a critical juncture for the Tarleton Texans and Tristan Bridges here on this at bat. As you have the very powerful and formidable cleanup hitter, Sarah Starks, waiting in the on-deck circle. Swinging through it, getting the K is Bridges. Challenged her on the outside third, and Pahula goes right through it. 2 away. That'll give you a little bit of breathing room for certain.
First baseman number 19, Sarah Starks.
Sarah Starks. Does not want to squander a rally opportunity. She left one on in the first after the leadoff double. Correction, Polson in the second spot with the double. It's up to Starks now. The runners on first and second. Off speed, beautiful. Just dove into the zone, had Starks frozen. So after that little talking to from the pitching coach and from the bench, the mix of pitches by Bridges has increased. Now comes in with Holland. That's going to get through into left field, making the turn and scoring for the Aggies cleanly. Will not be cut off. Runner holds at second, so Starks comes through with the RBI single. Detlefsen with her speed will not be stopped. She was going to get the wave all the way around once that one cleared the shortstop. And the first score goes the way of the Aggies, 1-0.
Shortstop number 44, Libby McMahon.
So Detlefsen, walk, stolen base, and a clutch 2-out single from Starks. McMahon now looks at the first strike. Libby McMahon, the junior. Another opportunity here. Laces it right at the left fielder for the catch. Oh, that's a tough break for McMahon. She put a sting into it, but it was directly at the defense of Sarah Nakahara. The Aggies do strike, however, for 1 run. A clutch 2-out single from Sarah Starks puts them ahead 1-0. Top of the fourth is up next. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Leading off third baseman number 27, Katie Schaefer.
Cleanup hitter Katie Schaefer steps in for the Texans to open up the top of the fourth. The Aggies strike for one. Manufactured run in the bottom of the third. And now Kennedy Brown's going to bear down on the power hitting Schaefer. Schaefer left one on in her first at bat. Again, swings through an off speed. Schaefer just has a beautiful swing. It's compact, impactful. She's down 1-1. They get 2-1, gets ahead now. Just trying to get Brown into counts where she's forced to challenge. But at the same time, you're going to be really, really careful with Schaefer. One swing of the bat from her can tie this one up. Again, goes off speed. He's been most effective, Kennedy Brown has, with that off speed. She's been in the zone all day long. Two and two. Spoils it. So Brown kind of been following a bit of that pattern, getting ahead in the count, going on the outside third, and even pulling it even farther outside, and then comes back in. See if she doesn't try to go off the hands. She does, but misses low. So 3-2. Schaefer with 16 walks on the season. Just 8 Ks. Tremendous numbers for a significant power hitter. Ropes one into left. Diving grab in left field. Flashing the leather is Sarah Nakahara. Schaefer robbed on the left side. Gave it a ride. Nakahara has been fantastic in left as well defensively. She gets a well-earned thank you from her starting pitcher Brown from the circle. And one away. Austin Germain steps in. Germain struck out last time up. And looks at strike one. Germain, the sophomore, wearing the always popular 00. Hailing from San Antonio, Texas. And obviously, this is the second time in a row that the Tarleton State Texans have played in the National Invitational Softball Championship. They were here last year. And caught looking backwards K. Fourth strikeout of the game for Brown.
First baseman number 11, Jordan Dickerson.
2 down here in the top of the fourth. Jordan Dickerson. Also had a K last time. She was part of that second inning where Brown just dominated and cruised. And now Brown's finding that speed again. She's in that gear. Dickerson again looks at strike one. Brown ahead in the count. Swings through it. Again, a disappearing drop ball. Flummoxing the redshirt sophomore. Did not play last season due to injury. So it's great to see her back for the Texans. That one we just foul. Thought maybe he was going to dribble over a corner of third base, but out of play to the left. So as I mentioned, Dickerson missing all of last season, returning this year, appearing in 45 contests, starting 44 of them. And an exquisite defender at a 98% fielding percentage. So a sure-handed first baseman. One and two. Pulled outside, 2-2. Phillies, they 1-0 advantage. Bases empty, 2 away here in the top of the fourth. On a chilly day in Fort Collins. Dickerson puts a charge into it, deep into left field. That's in the gap, carrying, off the fence, and out of here! It hit the top of the fence and went over Dickerson. Goes yard for her 5th of the season, and the Texans strike back. Deep drive into the gap. Nakamura made a valiant effort, but it just clanked off of the top of the fence and dribbled over for the home run. And a laugh in the outfield. Good to see she's okay. So Dickerson ties us up at 1s. So Nakamura had a tracking on it, but it was just sort of slicing away from left field into center. And the center field played a little bit shallower, as Polson and Nakamura couldn't quite grab it. And the home run ties us up at 1. Just the 5th home run allowed all season by Kennedy Brown. Now Texans have a little bit of wind in their sails. 2-0. As the shortstop Medford gets ahead in the count. Medford slaps it into the hole between first and second for another clean single. Just a well executed.
Right fielder number 3, Mackenzie Peterson.
Yeah, the 8-hitter, Peterson. So the middle and bottom half of the lineup getting it done for the Texans here in the top of the fourth. Still 2 away. Off speed, finds the mark. So Peterson drew a walk her first time up. Medford, not really a threat to steal. She is feinting it on the right side. I'll be entirely honest, Tarleton State as a program doesn't really embrace the stolen base all that much. Just 38 attempts all season. And we're successful in 34. And there she goes. Yeah, with 2 outs, why not? Try and advance her. And it is in the dirt, got away. So picking her spots well and advancing into scoring position is Medford. So Peterson now with an opportunity, and once again, the brain trust for the UC Davis Aggies will confer. College sports evaluation is on the cutting edge of sports analytics. Founded in 2020 by the owner of Triple Crown Sports, Dave King, CSE provides youth and collegiate athletes with verified sensor data. Trusted by and tested with over 200 college programs, CSE's team of dedicated mathematicians provide the only valid data outlet available to accurately evaluate players as they compare to collegiate levels. Visit cseval.com, that's cseval.com, to learn more and get your athlete involved. 3-1 count after the stolen base. So Medford at second. Peterson looks at strike two. Kennedy Brown hasn't been in a whole lot of trouble here today. Escaped one jam in the third. Marginal jam. But here's giving up a solo home run. Now has a runner at second as Peterson fouls it off again. 3-2, 2 away. A tie contest, 1-1. Brown looking for fifth K. Indeed gets it. Off speed once again. And that's strikeout number 5. But not before some damage was done. Home run by Dickerson. And just like that, we're all squared 1-1. Bottom of the fourth comes up next. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports. Got Horsetooth Field going on at the same time as well. San Jose State playing CSUN. And here we have Tarleton State just tied us back up with a big home run, top of the fourth, against the Aggies of UC Davis. Consolation bracket action, this double elimination tournament. As Delaney Diaz, 5'2" senior from Camarillo, takes over at the designated player spot, replacing Costa. Chops to third. Nice stab by Schaefer. Goes all the way across to first base to Dickerson. Again, Schaefer very busy with the glove at third base and has been flawless. So quick one away.
Now batting the catcher, number 2, Grace Gilday.
We'll bring up Gilday, 0 for 1 on the afternoon. More specifically, the morning. But it's afternoon somewhere. Gilday, the sophomore, slaps it foul to the right side. 0-1 now. Correction, 1-1. Made 23 starts as a freshman last year for the Aggies. This year, started in 44 of 45. So her playing time and confidence increasing. Also masterful with the glove, giving accolades to the third baseman for the Texans, Schaefer. Killed day at 983. Slap to Schaefer, charges. Gonna go all the way across. Same play, same result. Put out, 5-3. So 2 quick outs.
Left fielder number 24 is Sarah Nakahara.
And Nakahara been busy out and left. He had a valiant effort trying to bring back the McKenzie home run, but was just a bit short. Nevertheless, made a sweet diving stop earlier. And with all that, looking for her first hit. Bridges challenges on the inside, doesn't get the call, so it's 2-0. Nakahara now ahead 3-0. Bridges, her 4th inning. Lefty on lefty. Top of the zone, strike 1. So Nakahara had the take sign all the way. Nakahara with 16 walks on the season. But 2 outs, looking to get somebody on base. And that's one way to do it. 17th walk.
Second baseman number 5, Summer Kissling.
That'll bring up the 9th hitter. So either way, the walk by Nakahara is going to turn the lineup over for next inning. But you sure would like to get a 2-out rally here as Kissling. Oh, it gets away from the catcher, and Nakahara will advance. Took a big jump, a mishandle by Ko, and that allowed Nakahara to scamper into second base. No play. And now Kissling. Opportunity for her. Each team's had a plethora of 2-out opportunities. Runners at second. It's only been cashed in once, and that was the UC Davis only run of the game. See if they can duplicate that feat. Kissling. Except the strike. 2-0. Excuse me, 2-1. 2-0 was the count. So Kissling, 2-1. Just outside. Kissling with 9 RBI on the season. Looking for that double digits. Catches the inside corner. So a 2-0 count. Turns into 3-2. Payoff pitch. Just chopped. That's going to be a tough play. Schaefer charges, fires, and gets her at first base. So Schaefer again getting it done with the glove and the arm. And a late 2-out walk and a stolen base on a pass ball goes for naught. 1-1 at the end of 4. Top of 5 comes up next from the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
4 innings complete. Your score, Tarleton. off for the Texans, catcher number 16, Brittany Coe.
Top of 5. Sun desperately trying to break through a low-hanging cloudy day. 1-1 is our score. And the catcher, Brittany Coe, 5'5" junior, steps in to start us off. High fly ball into right. A little can of corn, settling it underneath it for the first out of the inning is Deathlifson. 1 away. Yeah, on this cold day, not a whole lot of really solid contact. Been a lot of squibs off the top of the bat, and yeah, there's some electricity running up the fingers and into the wrists and into the forearms. Getting little zingers now and again. So Hill has a double on the day. 1 for 2. As the top of the order comes back around. Foul down the first base line. Kelsey Hill started at Middle Tennessee State. Hails from Marietta, California. It's her first season in the purple and black for the Texans. Slashed foul. Now she's in the hole 0-2. Hitting over 300 for her career, 315 to be exact. And that has absolutely continued in her time at Tarleton State. As mentioned, 354 on the season. Oh, pulled the string, backwards K. That was nasty. We've seen Brown not be afraid to go to the off speed when she's gotten ahead. Came in with a fastball on the pitch before that, which was Hill was late on. And then just had her adjusted to the speed and pulled it back. 2 away. And again, Brown starting to pound the zone. Kayla Wallace chops it foul into the Texans dugout area. Wallace 0 for 1 with a K. Sacrifice earlier. Very high. Will not chase, and it's 1-2. And gets the outside corner for the punch out. Bridges bears down. Brown bears down. Got all kinds of fun pitching duels going on here today. After 4.5, we are still square 1-1. The Aggies coming up next from the National Invitational Softball Championship on Triple Crown Sports.
Leading off right fielder number 27, Anna Defleson.
Pitching change for the Texans here in the bottom of the fifth. Grace Garcia enters the contest. Part of that 1-2 punch in the circle for Tarleton State. And she will face Anna Defleson. Part of that manufacturing that first run. Now falls behind 0-2. Just tapped away on the outside. Garcia was the starter yesterday in the loss 11-5 to South Dakota State through 4 innings. 5 earned runs, 2 Ks, 3 walks. But again, it's been her and Tristan Bridges all season long carrying the load. Slow roller to second base. Easy put out at first, although the speedster made it a little closer than you might have expected. Defleson really gets up and down the line. Leah Polson, the center fielder, step in. Looks at a first pitch strike. Polson matching up with Garcia. Catches the outside corner of Garcia. One and two. Misses wide. Just wide of first. Foul ball. Polson, another one of those players who's bided her time. See considerable increase in playing time throughout her career. Appeared in 22 games last season. Now, again, 47 appearances and 46 starts. Runs the count full, 3-2. That was chopped into the hole. Good coverage, just off of the glove and squirting through. Going to call it an error on the second baseman. Little dribbler into the hole between first and second. It was a long run, and it just stayed low. Clanks off of the mitt on a play that probably should have been made. So an error opens up the door. Polson takes advantage. And again, formidable middle of the lineup for the Aggies. Pahulu. Polson, 4 of 6 on the season on stolen base attempts. That was indeed how the Aggies manufactured their first run. Now again, you've got the Big West Player of the Year, probably the fastest player on the roster. They've been successful in 41 of 45 steal attempts to take her 42nd. This one's a little bit different, but with 1 away, maybe you roll the dice here in the bottom of the 5th. Two and one. Hulu 0 for 2. A little bit late on the swing, fouls it away. Garcia, a little bit more overpowering than her counterpart Bridges. 105 strikeouts on the season. Just misses outside. A little bit better control, probably as well. 67 walks on the season. Again, this is in 146 innings pitched. So she starts her 147th. That one runs in on the hands. And it's chopped foul down the third base line. So a little bit of a battle brewing here between Garcia and Pahulu. Full count offering, one away. Chop to third, correction into short. Going to go all the way across, slings her and gets her at first base, advancing the runner to second. So Pahulu. Strong throw from Medford. And that will bring up Sarah Starks. Opportunity to add to her all-time RBI leading list. Polson waiting at second. And Starks looks at ball one. Garcia offers. Strike one on the outside corner. Another off-speed catches the outside corner. Now with two away. 1-2 counts. Will Garcia try and make her chase? See if she goes right after her. Indeed she does. Tries to get her to swing on that outside offering. Will not go for it. And interestingly enough, the defense for Tarleton State, the second baseman Troll, consistently creeping in behind Polson. So opening up a hole down the right side, and Starks goes fishing, can't get it done. So Garcia rises to the challenge, avoids a mild threat, and we go to the top of the sixth, all square, 1-1. More to come in just a moment. It's the National Invitational Softball Championship from Triple Crown Sports.
5 innings complete. Your score, Tarleton State 1. Leading off second baseman number 2, Tristan Troll.
Top of the 6th in a contest 1-1 here. Runs hard to come by as Tristan Troll, second baseman, leads us off. Kennedy Brown continuing in the circle for the Aggies. Troll 0 for 2. Now gets ahead in the count. 2-0. The 82nd pitch from Kennedy Brown just moments ago. Here in the top of the 6th. Takes something off of it. It looked like a take all the way from Troll. Troll has had a couple of opportunities, left 2 players on base. All told, the Texans with 4 left on. The Aggies have left 6 stranded. 3-1 now. Hitters count to Troll. Well outside, so a leadoff walk. The Texans immediately get to work. And that will bring up Schaefer.
Third baseman number 27, Katie Schaefer.
Troll's 22nd walk of the season. And Katie Schaefer hitting .360. 640 slugging percentage, 50 RBI, and 11 home runs. Just out front. Again, Brown changing speeds effectively on her. Schaefer 0 for 2. Right down the middle. So you see, just moving the speeds back and forth, just keeping the hitters off balance. Junior from Sweeney, Texas. Looks at one well outside the zone. One and 2. And strikes, swing him out, strike out, and the stolen base. So Schaefer swings through another off-speed pitch. But scampering down to second base with 1 away is Troll. Brings up Austin Germain, the sophomore. 0-2. First pitch outside, and once again, taking a big lead is Troll at second. The Aggie defense playing straight away. Maybe crunching and pinching in just a little bit, I should say, on the corners. And again, off speed has Germain well in front. One and 1. And Germain completely fooled on the heat outside. Germain again doesn't strike out very much, just 11 on the season. Again, fooled on the off speed, but just got the nub of the bat to stay alive. Still behind in the count 1-2 with a runner at second. A leadoff walk. Brown once again facing some pressure. Overcooks it. 2-2. Ooh, generous outside corner. Gets the punch out. Oof. Jermaine showing the composure. That one looked outside, but just did get the call. Little frame job helped as well from the catcher Kilday. And that's 2 away. Fastball outside. Fakes the throw back behind the runner. Dickerson, long solo shot for a home run in the left center for the lone scoring. That time fooled on the off speed again. And it's 1-1. Now the defense in the outfield shading a little bit towards the gap. And it is a steady diet of off speed now coming from Brown to Dickerson. Brown obviously determined not to make the same mistake twice. She's not challenging all that well. Now she does, but it is outside. And it's 3-1. So memories of that long home run, about 225 feet. Look for Brown to go off speed once again. She does. 3-2. And if I'm Brown, I'm just daring her to hit that drop ball. Three and two away. Payoff pitch. There it was again. This time low.
Shortstop number 1.
Second walk of the morning issued off. Now runners at first and second one more time. As Medford, 1 for 2, steps in. The shortstop. Clean single. Most likely drive home. Trull at second. In a 1-1 ball game. There's a slapped, and that's going to get over the head of the center fielder. That's going to go all the way to the wall. 1-1 will score. 2 will score. Is going to hold up at second, and coming through in the clutch with a big-time double. 2 runs in, and the Texans take the lead 3-1. Center field playing in very shallow, and that was slapped well over the head. Great contact, fantastic read. And Brown challenged her with a fastball and ended up really attacking it. So Medford comes through in the clutch. That one rolls all the way to the wall. 2 outs, runners on the move. Texans lead 3-1. So it's been the middle of the order getting the job done. The home run from Dickerson to tie it, and then Morgan Medford, a shortstop, with a 2-run double with 2 away here in the top of the 6th. Fastball challenging Peterson, the right fielder. Blew it right past her. Still 2 away, another 2-out rally. Dickerson home run came in with 2 outs, another off speed, just fouled. And this 2-out rally continued by Medford. One and two. That is slapped into the gap. That's going to fall right in front of the center fielder. Turning from second and coming home for the score. Another 2-out run. Medford scores from second. Peterson drives in the RBI. And it is 4-1 Texans. Solid contact with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Tarleton State getting the job done. So a brief discussion between Brown and Kilday. Does not appear there will be any pitching changes. Maybe working on some outfield adjustments defensively. Looks like they're going to shade a little bit towards left field. And offering and swinging through it was the catcher, Coe. Coe 0 for 1 here today. Outside on the 0-1 offering. Catches the outside corner. 3 runs in for the Texans. Took a 1-1 tie. Added a little bit of insurance a moment ago. 1-2. Lays off it. Two and two, 2 away. And that's going to be lifted into right field. Diving stop. What a catch. Another sprawling save. That one from the All-Big West performer, Anna Dethlefsen. Looked ticketed for the gap, but Dethlefsen, with her speed and range, snatched it. Well, not after the damage has been done. 3 runs for the Texans in the top of the 6th. The Aggies will attempt to respond in their bottom half. Back in just a moment to the National Invitational Softball Championship, presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Leading off shortstop number 44, Libby McMahon.
Bottom of the 6th. Tarleton State taking a 4-1 lead. Stringing together some clutch hits, all 2-out rallies. That is a high drive, deep to center, tracking it all the way back. Making the catch in deep center field was Kelsey Hill. That hung up, gave it a ride. Just didn't quite have enough. And what a play by tracking it down. Really got turned around a little bit, had a good beat on it. So Diaz, designated player. After McMahon flies away deep center field, steps in. Diaz replacing Costa earlier in the contest. Garcia offers to Diaz. Fouled away. Gets ahead in the count, 2-1. There's a clean single into right field. No play at first base. So Diaz gets the job done. And 1 on, 1 out.
Catcher number 2, Grace Gilday.
Going to have a pinch runner at first. Looks like we're going to bring on Alyssa Ito, 5'2" senior from Hollister, California, to pinch run. Ito's 29th appearance. She's made 4 starts, but she's in there for a little bit of extra juice on the base paths. So, Gilday, the catcher. Little tapper back to the mound. Going to turn and fire, getting the second out at first base. But Ito will advance to second. So 2 away. It's a little tapper, and Garcia quick to pounce out of the circle.
Left fielder number 24, Sarah Nakahara.
I'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Nakahara. 0 for 1 here today. So have a walk and a stolen base. As she looks at strike 1. Also Cade in her first at bat of the morning. Strike up in the zone. Falls behind 0-2. 2 away. Ito at first. That's Nakahara. Tries to change a look from the pitcher. And Garcia had that one planned all the way. She's going to see if she can get her to chase out front. Now trying to draw some of the defense in on the left side of the infield. Nakahara choking up. Looks at ball 2. Schaefer remains at third. That run in on the hands. Whipped foul over the left side. Do it all again. Still 2-2. 2 outs. Runner on second. Texans leading 4-1. And that one is slashed into left field. That will bounce down. They're going to send the runner. Cut off. And the run scoring 2-out single from Nakahara. Trims the deficit to 4-2.
Second baseman number 5, Summer Kissing.
So both teams getting solid production from the bottom of the orders. Another run in for the Aggies. That will bring up the 9-hitter, second baseman Sarah Kissling. Correction, Summer Kissling, my mistake. Summer Kissling, 0 for 2 on the afternoon. That one is tagged into right field, right at the defense as Peterson squeezes it. That will end the inning. 1 run in for the Aggies. Still, the Texans lead by 2, 4-2 after 6. Top of the 7th is next. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports. And they go back to the top of the order as Kelsey Hill, the center fielder, 1 for 3 on the afternoon, leads it off for the Texans. Pitching change for the Aggies as Taylor Fitzgerald will step into the circle, relieving Kennedy Brown. Fitzgerald, 6-4 on the season, 91 innings pitched. 39 Ks and 11 walks. But right now, Tarleton State, they're trying to get some more insurance, leading by 2 in the top of the 7th. Now, this is a full day of action on day 2 of the National Invitational Softball Championship. Obviously, we started off here with this in the consolation bracket. Immediately following us, we'll get part of the winner's bracket as Iowa and South Dakota State. First pitch scheduled for high noon. We'll, of course, have that for you. That's the 1-0. Base hit into left field. So they continue to pick up where they left off. Hill, a leadoff single. Second hit of the day for her. That will bring up Kayla Wallace. Made the play to end the bottom of the 6th moments ago. But continuing to look at that schedule, obviously lots of action today as well. So whoever wins this one will move on and take on the loser of Iowa and South Dakota State. That game will happen this afternoon at 3 p.m. Of course, there are 2 fields in operation here. Big time turn on that. That's going to go into the parking lot. Foul ball. And as we await an update from the other consolation bracket game going on, CSUN versus San Jose State, the winner of that will take on Maryland or BYU. And again, that game will happen the exact same time, high noon, at our second field, the Horsetooth Field. Drilled to deep center. That is going back, and clanks off of the sign. Home run! A la profundo. Really put a charge into it, did Wallace. And some more insurance. 6-2 Texans. Wallace's 4th home run of the season. And it has been a rough welcome to Taylor Fitzgerald. Clean single to left and an absolute rope to center. And it is a 4-run advantage for Tarleton State. And another hit past the diving second base. Just moving the train along. Tristan Troll. Another hit for her on the afternoon. And after 3 consecutive well-struck pitches, the Aggies may be making a change. Not much discussion, but no movement just yet. Well, they're going to stick with Fitzgerald for now. That brings up the third baseman, Katie Schaefer. It's 1 on. Poke fouled on the right side. Now Schaefer was getting a steady diet of off-speed pitches. And so far Fitzgerald, and now the 3 attempts to challenge the hitters, has paid for it with 2 hits and a home run. See what Schaefer's looking for. Tries to go outside, cannot frame it. 1-1. Fitzgerald. Inside corner. So Schaefer. As I mentioned in her last at bat, as powerful as Schaefer has been, just does not strike out a whole lot. Just 8 Ks on the season. And that is scorched past the diving third base. Station to station, base hit. 4 consecutive hits for Tarleton State here in the top of the 7th. That will also prompt a discussion from the bench, as we're going to get a pinch hitter for Tarleton State, Alexis Hong, 5'7" senior from Stillwater, Oklahoma. And a pinch runner as well. So Hayden Fox will pinch run for Schaefer at first base. And a pinch hitter, Alexis Hong, will step in for Germain. I want to remind you, Triple Crown Fast Pitch is the home base for a remarkable set of youth softball tournaments, coast to coast, that push teams to be their competitive best. College coaches come to recruit these as well. So grow your game by suiting up at the next TC Fast Pitch event. Of course, we're in day 2 of 3 days of the National Invitational Softball Championship. Swinging bunt from Hong. Hong making her 13th appearance of the season. She's had 10 at-bats. And in 10 of those, she's struck out 6 times, trying to avoid that fate and keep this explosive offense Keep it rolling. Still nobody out, and it's a 1-1 count. 4 straight hits. Tap to the mound. Just going to flip to first. Runners advance to second and third. So Hahn gets the job done. Puts runners in scoring position. Puts the ball in play was the key. And Dickerson, first baseman who has had herself a heck of a day. 1 for 2, scored 2 runs, 1 walk, including the home run that started everything. Texans were down 1-0, and then Dickerson with 2 outs. And it sure looked like the starting pitcher, Brown, was just cruising along. But it was Dickerson's long home run that provided that spark of hope. And the Texans have continued to just run with it. 6-2. 1 away here in the top of the 7th. Next offering is low. 2-0. So a favorable hitter's count. Runners in scoring position. Dickerson facing Fitzgerald. Doesn't get the call, low and away. And it's 3-0. See if Dickerson gets the green light here. I'd turn her loose. Nope, takes all the way. Jordan Dickerson fakes the bunt, pulls it back, slaps it foul. 3-2. So the Aggies jumped out to a 1-0 lead. Could not really string together the necessary hits. You really want to credit Tarleton State's pitching. It's Tristan Bridges and Grace Garcia, who have put together a masterful performance to hold the Aggies to just 2 runs. Each of those have been hard fought. 3-2. Low. And they're loaded. 1 away. The Texans continuing to try and pile on here in the top of the 7th.
Number 1, Morgan Medford.
Slapped into the outfield, and a drawn in infield will result in 1 play. Play at the plate's going to go around and score. 2 are in. Perfectly placed hitting as the UC Davis Aggies had pulled the infield in, trying to get that play at the plate. Just slapped into the vacated open spot down the behind the second baseman, between the bag and the normal positioning. And 2 more will score. And just like that, the Texans have rolled out to a 6-run advantage, 8-2. So tough day for the Big West. Obviously the UC Davis Aggies here, trailing by 6 at 8-2. And Taylor Fitzgerald's nightmarish afternoon will come to a close. So a tough outing for her will give way to Mia Hildebrand. But keeping you updated on some of those other scores. As I said, the Big West having a rough go of it here in the National Invitational Softball Championship on the diamond to our east. The Horsetooth Field. It is San Jose State 10, CSUN 5. And this is after CSUN put 4 up in the top of the 1st. But the Spartans of San Jose State explode for 9 runs in the bottom of the 5th They currently sit at the top of the 6th. So CSUN looking to make a comeback, trailing by 5, but the deficit not as formidable as their conference counterparts. The Aggies trailing by 6. Still 1 away. Runners on first and second. As Mia Hildebrandt come in and try and put out the fire. Hildebrandt, just 8 innings pitched all season. Giving up 10 earned runs. Has an ERA of 8.4. 5 Ks and 5 walks. That one is nubbed to short. Easy catch, 2 away. So some weak contact out of the gate from Hildebrandt.
Catcher, number 16, Brittany Coe.
So Coe will take over after Peterson flares one to short. 2 down, top of the 7th. Hildebrandt can't quite find the top of the zone. So Coe, especially runners on first and second, can't afford to be patient. They're going to throw behind the runner just to keep him honest. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Kisling had been sneaking in routinely when there were Texans on second. That one is slashed into the gap. That's going to get all the way to the wall. 2 more runs will score. Coe going to hustle into second, and it is 10-2 Tarleton State. More 2-out clutch hitting. The catcher, Coe. 2 more RBI for her. And the Texans are running away with this one. Just hung it out there in the center of the plate. Drilled into the gap. Nagamura stumbled a bit at the wall. That one is slashed into center field for another base knock. Held up at third. On a speedy recovery from Polson in center to get it back in. And now the floodgates have absolutely opened right now. Hill with the first pitch leadoff single. She's now 3 for 5 on the day. As Wallace, left fielder. Runners on the corners. Low and away.
At the plate, number 21, Kayla Wallace.
Wallace is 1 for 3 with a couple of RBI. Waits on the off speed. And fouls one off into the pizza stand. Put one in the pizza oven over there on the foul ball. You got to keep your head on a swivel if you're going to be on Food Truck Row here. Nice off-speed catches top of the zone to get ahead in the count, 1-2. So Fitzgerald, the relief corps for the Aggies, feeling the pain. And that one is popped up. Taken by the shortstop. Hung up in the air just long enough as both the second baseman and the shortstop was between Kisling and McMahon, but it was McMahon who ultimately called it off and made the play to end the inning. 6-run score for the Texans, however, in the top of the 7th. They are in command, looking to advance. One more opportunity for the Aggies. Bottom of the 7th coming up, 10-2 Tarleton State. Back in just a moment. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports. Bottom of the 7th, Aggies looking for a comeback here, trailing 10-2. Ripped foul down the third base line by Anna Dethlefsen. If you're going to start a comeback, better start with the top of the lineup. Dethlefsen 0 for 2, but she did have that early walk, stole second, and a timely hit brought her in for the second of the UC Davis runs here this morning. And at this point, if you're Grace Garcia, just start challenging. It's 3 outs away from advancing. Catches the outside corner. Dethlefsen trying to just keep it alive. That is slapped into right field. Base knock. Good start. And facing an 8-run deficit. Not real sure you want to start putting her in motion at this point, but look, she's so successful. The percentages of her successfully swiping second are very high. So we'll see if she takes off on first pitch or just waits. Paulson 1 for 2. There she goes. Oh, hesitates. Flown deep into left field, tracking, and making the catch. Wallace settles under. A long fly ball to left. Dethlefsen took a big, aggressive break. And Paulson swinging on that first pitch. Drove it. But plenty of room in left center. 1 away. Brings up the third baseman, Bella Pahulu. Inside corner, strike 1. I just love how Garcia has performed here in relief. Had a rough go yesterday, shook it off, and just has been fabulous. Being aggressive, inside, outside, using all thirds of the plate. And now she's ahead, 0-2. Garcia wastes one outside. One and 2. Fouled away. Pahulu stays alive. That one is drilled into the gap in right field. Going, gone. Pahulu keeps hope alive. A 2-run shot into the right center field gap. And the Aggies may celebrate some more. 2-run shot makes it 10-4. Tarleton State. Pahulu's 3rd homer of the season. And perhaps the last game of the season, perhaps the last at bat. But Aggie hope remains. Sarah Starks with 1 away. And at the end of the day, yeah, that's not going to look good for Garcia's numbers, but look, you got an 8-run lead. Bottom of the 7th. Go ahead and challenge him. Make him beat you. Make him hit the ball. And unfortunately, the numbers will look a little bit inflated for Garcia, but that's her job right now. Put that thing in the zone. 1-1. Starks swings at the drop ball. Finds herself behind. 1-2. Defense for the Texans straight away. Goes off of the glove, knocks it down, has plenty of time, shovels it to first base. Didn't even pull it out of the mitt. Just shoveled it over to first for the 2nd out of the inning. 2nd time that we've seen Garcia stay composed on a comebacker. Just knocked it down, knew she had plenty of time.
Now batting number 44, Libby McMahon.
And 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. Tarleton State leading 10-4. Libby McMahon. McMahon 1 for 3. Hits one deep to right, tracking it near the warning track and making the catch in right field to end it is Peterson. Gave it a ride, did McMahon, but Peterson squeezed it to end it. So late explosiveness from the Tarleton State Texans propels them forward. Their season continues. They will get the loser of Maryland and BYU. That will come up this afternoon at 3 p.m. right here at TC Field. On the other side, getting you updated very, very quickly. Looks like San Jose State will indeed advance as well. So CSUN and UC Davis, it appears that their seasons will come to a close. Well, that will do it for our broadcast here. Don't forget, at high noon, we will be bringing you Iowa and South Dakota State, the Hawkeyes versus the Jackrabbits. So be sure that you tune back in with us here on Triple Crown Sports for more coverage of Day 2 of the National Invitational Softball Championship. I want to say a special thank you to Triple Crown Sports, Dave King, Craig Buchanan, the entire squad, as well as producer Johnny Houston and his team. Fabulous work as always. My name is Matthew Wozniak. I'll be back with you here at the top of the hour for Iowa and South Dakota State. Once again, your final, Tarleton State 10, UC Davis 4. See you at noon, everybody. Thanks for joining us.